Hello, this is Father Herb for session 3 of our mini retreat, which I call Into the Fray. When I was in my early 20s, I remember talking to a man much older than I who used an old adage that I had never heard before, which went something like this. He said, if you are under 35 and if you are not idealistic, something is wrong. But if you are over 35 and if you are still idealistic, something is wrong. Now, I've heard a lot of old sayings, but I have to tell you, that one was probably the most stupid of all of them. Because I'm not only over 35, I'm more than twice that age, and I still think of myself as idealistic. Now, I do have to define idealism. Idealism is not just some looking up at the clouds and hoping for the best type thing. Idealism theologically might come down in another word, namely the word hope. We have to be people of hope. And that's why I'm calling this session Holding On to Hope. In this mini retreat, the session 1 was living in two worlds, like the equator. We feel like we're on one side or the other. We live in the world of society and its norms, and we're concerned about making the world better. We also live for the kingdom. We live in the world of discipleship. The second session was 2020 vision, having clarity of mind, to see the signs of the times and to see ourselves and that we are called to make a difference. In the third one, I think we're going to find ourselves being able to accept the challenge by holding on to hope. Yes, we are idealistic, but it's idealism that flows from something that's very, very well planted. Hope, theologically, is all about possibility. Hope has a future element, but it's rooted in the present. Hope means we're not alone. We have the help of other people. We know that God is with us. Hope says that we are not adrift, but that there is a plan. I love the Christian symbol for hope, which is an anchor. And if you've ever been out on Lake Erie or any other place, you know that when you put the anchor down, it keeps you from going adrift. We need an anchor. We need hope. We need possibility. Robert Kennedy, the brother of John Kennedy, who Robert also was assassinated in 1968. But one of his lines was, some people look at the world as it is and say, why? I look at the world and what it could be, and I say, why not? That is what we're talking about. Why not? Now, to be people of hope means we have to imagine a better world. And I use the word imagine intentionally. Imagination is not just fantasy. Imagination means somehow being able to picture something. They say if you cannot imagine something, you can't do it. Now, many people are given the gift of imagination, especially artists. I'm not one of those. I remember when we built our new church, and I had many conversations with the sculptor Tim Schmalz. And he didn't know a whole lot about John the 23rd, but he agreed to make a statue of John the 23rd. So I gave him a book about John. I had numerous times that I would send him emails describing John and bullet points about that he was a man who trusted in the Holy Spirit, that he had a great sense of humor, that he convened the Second Vatican Council, that he was a person that you wanted to get to know and love. And somewhere in all those lists of points that I gave him, I also had the quote from John, where John said, "It is time for us to open the windows of the church to let the fresh air of the Holy Spirit come blowing through." Well, Tim, who is very creative and has an incredible imagination, started sending me drawings of what eventually ended up to be the piece of sculpture that we have in the church. He was able to imagine something with motion that I could not. He took a concept and made it something that we can picture. If we can imagine a better world, we can build a better world. Now, I said that I don't have a great imagination, but what I can do, and I suggest you can do, is we borrow imagination from others. I spend a lot of time reading biographies of men and women who have lived well. Some of these are canonized saints, some are not. Some people are of great courage, and many are of really just the last century, maybe the last 50 years, because I can be inspired to see how they made decisions, and that tells me the possibility. The other thing that all of us can do is we can join with other people. Even this idea that we have now of these mini retreats was not the idea of one single person. Our pastoral team came together and we talked about it aloud, and different people added different components, and we said, we can do this together. We have to think of this in the big picture. This is the call of the church. With the imagination, we can become people of hope, and we can share that hope with other people and make a difference. I've enjoyed doing this mini retreat with you, and I hope that you'll continue to watch the ones ahead. Don't be afraid to let us know what you think of the whole concept, and please share these with other people if you would like. But in the same spirit of the last two, I'm going to end with a discussion question or a thought question for you if you are alone. And this question today is this: what can you imagine yourself doing to make a difference in some area of need in the world? What can you imagine yourself doing to make a difference in some area of need in the world? God bless you. Have a wonderful week, and allow this whole process that we've gone through to really make a difference.